Hey, Kaiken. I don't know if that's your name, but thanks for reaching back out, brother. I've been really appreciating the way that you've been leading this whole community forward in this, and I know you're carrying a lot. Like, I know how busy you must be behind the scenes, so I'll try to make it brief. But yeah, I'm really interested in the algorithm side of this. And I too, like, I have this feeling like you're just like, you're out there to help this soul family progress in a really beautiful way, become abundant so we can do better things in the world. Coming from that place too, brother. And yeah, from a long time working on a project, the last project I worked on actually was literally, I tried to build the same thing that Holochain is. And I actually know the founders pretty well from back in the day. And the whole where it really came to is like building algorithms. Like the tough thing was to build an algorithm that would allow the distributed computing to shard the data onto, to effectively do true cloud computing on tiny devices that are not optimized for different types of compute, such as machine learning, in different types of AI applications or render applications or what have you, depending on like whatever decentralized app is running on them, require like different configurations of like processor, memory, RAM, all these things, and then the way that they're networked and the amount of bandwidth that they have between nodes. Anyway, I don't want to go into the weeds on that. Point is, like, back then I was really trying to answer that need for algorithm design in distributed applications. But I mean, just looking at what you do, brother, and like anticipating what a market's going to do based on like mathematical regression, this stuff I think is partially intuitive to you, but also it's based on like a set of principles that you have learned through technical analysis and investment training, I imagine. And maybe you went through some school to do that, like you have a finance background. I don't really know what your story is, but I'm a just like in my blood, I'm a solutionary. I love designing solutions for these things, and I'm living my life in the highest spiritual integrity that I can at this point, and using the mind and heart that I have, and I imagine you are too. It's like we get born into this life and we've got these skills. For me, it's been building startup businesses and scaling up, like, stuff that's really at the edge. But at one point it was augmented reality, and then it moved into cloud computing. I learned about cloud computing because I was trying to do extreme rendering, render applications, like massive worlds of rendering, which led me into learning more about how to do that rendering on mesh networks and different types of cloud infrastructure, which led me into high performance computing. And I've had a long issue with like Bitcoin and these current, cryptocurrencies that are really wasteful for the planet. And, I always had that feeling of like, once I learned how Bitcoin worked, like, why aren't we doing this as a distributed cloud? Instead of mining and wasting all this energy just doing guesswork that runs GPUs down to create artificial scarcity in a currency, why instead would we not, create real, something that could back applications? So I had the Holochain idea back in 2017 and developed something independently, later turned into a private project that also, it turned into like a really artificial intelligence focused application for cloud computing. So like decentralized cloud computing for AI was really where that was all going. So, okay, long story short, I would love to talk to you about where I see the intersection of what if we built an Oracle system? I mean, I see what you reference is awesome. What these token metrics guys are doing, that is along the same lines, but I want to kind of like imagine it a step further, in which like this is kind of like next level, but I really see this being doable. Is what would it take to do a decentralized version of token metrics in which like you are a contributor, right? By like through your oracling of how different things are going to perform, you are contributing to the training of an algorithm. And if that turns out to be something that really benefits the algorithm and its accuracy, and that requires a measurement system, I really like, well, anyway, then you'd get rewarded for that is what I'm saying. So I think this would be a super next level application. And I've been thinking about it a lot. I just like got my journal packed with like these designs. And I think about using, I really like this project. If you're not paying attention to it already, like I really recommend it. They're called SourceCred. This goes by they them pronouns, but Dandelion is their name, and is running this thing here in Seattle. Actually, I live in Seattle. But this is like a tool for communities to reward value creation. So it lets you do like an open source project. So I'd love to like riff with you on this as an open source project. And meanwhile, I'm totally invested in Holochain, like stoked about all of them. Ocean Protocol I think is amazing because it's an ability to transact data, like big data, and in a way that like corporations that are, well, I don't want, I have that tendency sometimes when I'm sharing to like go into the weeds, and I want to just stay cohesive because there's a lot of things I'd love to talk to you about. I think you're a brilliant human being. I just get that feeling from everything you're sharing, and I would love to be better friends. I just know that you've got to like be super busy, so I'm not offended either if like I don't hear back from you for a long ass time. But anyway, this is a way that we could build this project so that there's lots of contributors essentially using. This is eventually going to be a decentralized application. They're not quite at the stage of launch, but I'm really keeping a close eye on this because I want to do decentralized projects. Like imagine if you helped, me and some group of people, like we might jump in for different portions of designing some project to create really incredible algorithmic investment or a quantitative investment application, a decentralized application for the cryptocurrency world. And we could each play a role in creating the final project, and this rewards and credits people at different stages and gives weights and values to their contribution, so that everyone basically gets to share in what's created as like a initial coin offering eventually. So just like, and they're weighted, like you come in early and you create a contribution, but maybe that's not ultimately what is used, right? It like later takes those things into account. So I love SourceCred, and be cool to develop this as a SourceCred project with you is what I was saying. So they have a really cool, like, you can check out their Discord and stuff, but it's, yeah, SourceCred, just like it sounds, SourceCred.io. And if you're interested, you have the time, anytime in the next while, like, I'd love to riff with you on this. I'm available. Like, I don't have a full-time job anymore. Like, I've just been investing, and I've been a long time like career technologist, like futurist, worked on a number of teams, was at Amazon for a really long time, worked at ITEL Networks for a while, and built this whole solution out. I ran a startup. I was the CEO of a startup called Prismic, and you can look up my patents and stuff in the augmented reality space. But I love finding other like brilliant people like you, and I just wanted to send this out there. I don't know if I can send a video this long. Might have to upload it to YouTube as like an unlisted link or something like that, but we'll see. Anyway, much appreciation to you, much respect. I really love what you're doing out there and bringing a community together. Like, the thing that lights my heart on fire is bringing together community, like being community building in this time where we could change the way this world works in a way that's really beautiful and beneficial for generations to come and heal the planet. And that's why I'm so stoked about decentralized applications, and I see that in you too. And yeah, respect, and I guess I'll talk to you. We'll talk if it's meant to be. All right, aloha, blessings.